Hello! I'm Slow Magic. Welcome to my studio. This is Bandit. Say hi.
Hello.
I wanted to do a Q&A to, answer some questions that you all might have about me. Before I do that, all these questions came from my Patreon users on our Discord. If you want to ask me questions and just talk to me every day, all day, join the Discord, join the Patreon. There's a link over here. But anyway, I'm just going to answer some of these questions, and I haven't read them all, but hopefully they're good. So this first one's from Realize, I don't know exactly how to say this, sorry. Steven, he asked me, what was your first gig as Slow Magic like? So, yes, I've actually just celebrated my 10-year anniversary as Slow Magic, and speaking of which, if you want to see me on tour, I'm doing a 10-year anniversary tour. There's tickets up here for that. So anyway, it was about 10 years ago. I had started this project, put on a mask. Well, actually, first I didn't have a mask. I would just, me at home, doing anonymous music. And I had an offer to do a festival. After I put out some songs, it was a Gold Rush Music Festival in Denver, Colorado. It was a blog festival. A lot of cool people were there, like Teen Days, How to Dress Well, Candy Claus, and a lot of others. It was a cool festival. So I decided I needed a way to hide my face. So I asked my friend Jonas to make a mask for me. But really, all that to say, the first show, I was scared, out of my mind. I was nervous, but I was up on stage just with my controller, which was like a launch pad at the time, running a mono program with Ableton. But yeah, I was freaking scared. I didn't have any drums yet, and I was just playing a show, and it went really well. I mean, for me, I think it went well for everyone else, but I was just so excited to be up there. And I also covered the back of my laptop because I had a bunch of stickers on there from my previous band. So I put some paper over the laptop so no one would know who I was. And I realized after the show that I could be anonymous, so I asked some random people in the crowd later that day, oh, did you see the mask guy? And this guy was like, yeah, he was okay, not as good as this guy. So I felt a little I could get that honesty from people. It was a little scary though. Next question from Twilight Palms is very important. My roommate has requested a song about lizards. I feel like she's onto something. Well, I guess it has to happen, right? Let's see here. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do a song. I'll think about it though. That's a good idea. Okay, so Rick, who I believe asked a ton of questions, he asked me, if you can pull it off, what color would you dye your hair? Well, I mean, at the moment I've got kind of I don't know what color this is. I'm happy with it though. I don't think I need to change it. I mean, I could go with any color. I don't care. Rick again says, it's gonna be summer. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? And these questions were asked a little bit ago. Sorry about that. My favorite ice cream flavor has to be Half Baked by Ben and Jerry's. Gin and Berries. I mean, they have a vegan one. I don't eat dairy anymore, but Ben and Jerry's is great. We're in Vermont right now. It's awesome. This comes from Sanchez. Thank you, Sanchez. It says, any psych up routines before a show? What do you usually do after you perform? Good question. I mean, before a show, I'm usually a nervous wreck. And this year I want to change that, so I'm gonna try to stretch more, meditate a little bit when I'm freaked out before a show. Try to do some drumming stretches and stuff. I mean, I don't practice a lot before my shows, which is a problem. So I gotta prepare more, and that's what I do. But usually before the show, it's just hanging out backstage with Dream Angel, Mary Ellen, just yeah. Oh, and after I performed, I usually am super sweaty, ready to take the mask off and chill. Nothing special, no partying really. Crowy came in and asked a bunch of questions. Are you a certified drainer? Yes. Drain Gang, Blady for life. Mariel and I actually met Blady in Tokyo once. It was amazing. Big Blady fan. What was the tipping point that made you realize you could turn your production into a genuine career? That's a great question. I think I've done music most of my life for fun, and when I started Slow Magic, I just put a song up on Bandcamp and tagged it Chillwave, and the next day it was featured on a blog, so I felt like that moment I realized that people might like this. And I just ran with it for 10 years. What are some, if any, insecurities you deal with during music production? And how do you personally address them? This is a great and, difficult question. I feel like any artist feels hugely insecure while they're making their art. I mean, at least I do. I'm trying to realize that that's normal, and I've always felt that way, but I think that realizing you're not, you're just a person making whatever it is you're making, you don't have to worry about if you're good or not. That's something I've been trying to learn, is that it's okay to mess up and it's okay to not be perfect, because perfection is not real. So you can just have fun, and whenever you're insecure about maybe what you're working on, just realize that that's okay and you can grow from that. If you could give yourself advice 5 years ago, what would it be? That's a good question. And if I think back to 5 years ago, I was stuck in a label contract and, being controlled by outside forces a lot. And I guess, as much as I could tell myself to just let go of the people trying to control and just realize that you can express yourself freely. And, I was able to get out of that contract, luckily. Is there anything you're currently obsessed with? Let me think. I mean, I'm continuously obsessed with video games. I've been playing my Switch a lot, so yeah. Another one from RealZ, or Realize, I don't know how to say that. Where do you see Slow Magic 10 years from now? Great question. I've just, celebrated my 10-year anniversary, but I do, hope to see many more decades of Slow Magic, and I think in 10 years I will still be doing what I'm doing, but maybe I'll do a little more from home and maybe work on some TV or movie scores or more video game scores. I'm sure I'll hopefully be a dad by that point, and that's slow dad magic is where I see myself. This one comes from Imchu. Any books that you've read that have changed the way you view music, life, or experiences? I've actually been listening to a book recently that's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And that's been a great book. It's a good self-help book that is all about, it sounds like one of those kind of annoying books, but it's actually really helpful with reprogramming your brain and different values that you have that are just not helpful for you, and kind of redefining your self-values and all that, and I've been really enjoying that. Here's another one from Realize. Do you ever regret choosing to hide your face sometimes? This answer has a couple of questions, no. Also, yes. I think it's more so the act of wearing a mask that is can be a lot of work. For example, right now, this is kind of digging into my nose. That's constantly a struggle. And this is my lighter mask. I have a really heavy mask that I wear for the stage. So, that can be a literal burden, but the benefits of, being anonymous and not having to worry about my face being my public identity and my brand has been extremely helpful, I think, for my self-image feelings, and also just being able to separate my personal life from my career has been nice. Who is the best drummer and why is it Travis Barker? Yes. Okay, I've got a ton of questions from Rick. I'm just gonna answer them as quick as I can. Let's see. There's just a lot of questions here. I'm gonna pick some that actually make sense to me. If you could resurrect any, okay. Will you show us your real face? Yes. Who would win in a rap battle? Mario or Wario? I think Wario. Easy. Luigi or Waluigi? Luigi. You're at a summer pool party. You cannonball, front flip, or chill? I chill. What video games are you playing or have finished recently? I have been playing the new Skyward Sword. Also been playing, I'm always playing Wind Waker. I don't know, it's hard to keep up. I've just been playing a little bit of everything. Do I like pickles? Yes, I love pickles. Alright, that's enough questions from Rick here. This comes from October. How did you come up with your current aesthetic? What inspired you to wear a mask and design it the way he did. I know some of you might know a little bit about this, but well, the mask was designed by Jonas. I can link you to his artwork. He's an amazing artist and a great friend. He designed the original mask, which was made completely out of cardboard. I just had asked him to design an imaginary animal, and this is what he came up with. And over the years, like this mask here was built by a friend named Levi Wall, who helped iterate the mask into a more kind of three-dimensional, sturdy object with some lights in it that are burnt out at the moment. The newest mask was made by Joey and Yamur. Yamur. I can't say her name, but I'm gonna link it in the bottom as well. The reason that I wear the mask is to make the focus of what I do the music instead of me as a person. And obviously lately I've been talking and stuff, but I still think that it's important to let the music speak for itself. Well, it's a little contradictory, but you know, like when I put the music out there, I don't want it to be tied to an identity, a location, really, and a human at all. This comes in from Fieldcraft. Collab, bro. Sure, send me something. Another from Real Z. What's an element you would want to add to your live shows that you haven't done so far? That's a good question, and I feel like I've thought about like adding a band or adding this or that, but at the end of the day, I think that like just keeping the core of what it is there is what is important to me, and like tweaking that a little bit here and there. Like I thought about adding a keyboard or, you know, guitar or something, but it's like I feel like my strength really is drumming, and that's what I feel is the core of Slow Magic. So really nothing at the moment. I will grow the show as it evolves, but I think that like what it is what it should be. Lumi asks, do you have any ideas you want to try in the future for touring? I mean, just different tours can be like a fun idea. There's different places I haven't been, but I think also just touring with certain people could be really cool. I don't have any concrete plans at the moment that I can talk about like wanting to do. This comes from Ellie. What goes into creating a live show? Can you walk us through how it all works and what equipment you use? Great question. I mean, I'm kind of going through this process right now for the upcoming tour. It is just a lot of little problem solving and a lot of procrastination, which I'm trying to fight that. But you know, picking the songs that I want to do and configuring like how I want to set it up live. I use like some electronic drums, some real drums, my laptop, controller, but really I keep it simple. I mean, I mainly just use Ableton to run my show, use a little controller to do effects here and there, and then I trigger samples with the drum pads, and then the main thing is just playing along with real drums. And I kind of like to create this like this environment for a little bit of like things to go wrong or things to be improvised, and a room for chaos to happen. I mean, if you've been to a show of mine, I'm sure you've seen something fall over. You know, I jump into the crowd, and I think that for me it's all about like creating that space on the stage to kind of just have fun and do what I do while sticking with the songs that I've prepared. I hope that answers the question. The last question here coming in from Lasagna. Where does most of your inspiration come from when writing new music? I mean, it's hard to say. There's not a definitive answer there, but I mean, life in general. I've always wanted to make music that kind of captures like some kind of something in the world that is like an escape, or something beautiful in the world that you can people can kind of grasp onto. And I think the inspiration's changed a bit over the years, you know, like falling in love, getting married, and just thinking of things like that. And as I've changed as a person, I think my inspiration of music has changed, and the music itself changes because of that. And I think that like I can't really say what inspires it. I just think that sometimes I just sit down and it's a job, you know, like I sit down and make music, and that inspiration comes from that. I mean, and there's not really a particular artist that like inspires me at this point. I think it's important to just follow things that may not be so specific that inspire you. But that's some questions. If you do want to ask me some more questions, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and if you really want to get to know me better, you can join the Patreon for what, $3 a month and up to get a bunch of cool stuff and like tons of unreleased music. But I will see you on tour this year. I'm Slow Magic.